This is the Rerun Detroit Boxing Show. I'm your host, Mr. Layback Corey. And I got my co-host, B-Boy.
What up?
What's going on, B-Boy?
Not too much.
We're supposed to have a special guest in. I guess they're running a little bit behind, but hopefully they'll come soon before we close out. Let's talk about the fight we got tonight. Teofimo Lopez versus Jermaine Ortiz. What you think about that fight?
I think it's going to be a dogfight.
Really?
I do. I think Ortiz is going to come in a little bit stronger than what Teo's thinking.
Okay.
I think so. I could be wrong, but I don't think so. I think it's going to be one of those fights where Teo... It's not going to be a George Kambosos in any way, shape, or form. But it is going to be a fight where he is going to get that check. That little check hook somewhere is going to come across.
Okay, I don't know who's gonna win this fight. This fight is a toss-up because Jermaine Ortiz is he's a tough cookie.
He is.
And he's a very tough cookie. So I think this is gonna be an excellent fight. Now the fight I like on there is the Keyshawn Davis versus Jose Pedraza.
Oh, that's gonna be a good fight.
Yeah, so it's a couple more good fights on there too that we want to see.
Yes.
We also. We want to get a chance to say that we this year in boxing we appreciate what's going on so far, and I know y'all seen it too. I seen Terrence Crawford. He is in Vegas. He is at that fight. You know, Teofimo been talking crazy. He been talking real crazy. And it's another fight that I'm going to have Bill talk about just not right now for you guys.
This just came across me for Bivol versus Beterbiev, confirmed for June 1st. Mm-hmm. That's going to be on ESPN. That is going to be, I think that's going to be one of those fights where Bivol might have a really hard time with this one.
I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, I don't know.
You don't think so?
No, I'm not sure.
Because you're talking, both of them are undefeated.
It should be a shootout. It should be a shootout.
I think this is going to be one of those fights where it could even go to distance. Somebody's going to lose their L, obviously.
Oh, you know it. Or the worst case scenario, it can go to a draw.
Yeah.
It can definitely go to a draw, but I can see that. I can see that happen. But the fight tonight is going to be crazy.
Oh, I think so.
It's going to be fireworks.
I think the fireworks coming from the outside is what's really going to do it.
Absolutely.
I think if this happens, this would be it will not be good, but it'll be funny in my opinion.
Right.
Watching Crawford jump the fence and go up in that ring after the fight, getting in Teo's face, saying "You're next. I'm going to whoop your," and that's going to be.
That might happen, man. That might happen. What y'all think? The call-in number, callers, the number is 313-868-0331. The number is 313-868-0331. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to get y'all more up to date on some boxing. All right. For y'all, this is the Rerun Detroit Boxing Show. We got a special guest. He's coming in a moment. We had to run out to the car. Oh, Marquise, you got to adjust the camera on this one.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, so here he come. Yep, here you go.
Let's do it.
Man, this is a special guy right here. This is special.
Yes.
I love the way he's, out of all the cities in America, he chose right here in Detroit. This guy is something special. He's a former boxer himself. But right now, they got him as an American boxing promoter, man. And we're going to talk about some great things and the great venue he got, y'all, February the 20th.
Yes.
At the Wayne State Fieldhouse on the Zone. My man, Salita, what's up, man? Dmitriy Salita. There you go. That's how you say that. What's going on?
Everything is good. It's great to be here.
Mm-hmm.
I've watched and heard about this radio program for a long time.
Oh, yeah?
To drive down here
Mm-hmm.
and to walk through the streets and to walk into this beautiful studio, it's pretty special. It's a nice little space you got here.
Oh,
Thank
yeah.
you.
Well, for the people out there that know about that one, you started.
I'm from Brooklyn. And I've been in some rough parts. I was a little nervous. I got
he did ask, was it safe? You know, say get the door.
You got a double door.
Oh yeah. 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 So.
It's like one of those atomic chambers.
Oh man.
Oh, that was good.
So tell us, you started boxing at the age of 9, correct?
Started boxing at the age of 13.
Oh, age 13. Okay.
My family immigrated
Oh, okay.
to New York from Odessa, Ukraine, Soviet Union back then.
Okay. And you also won the junior in the Junior Olympics. You won the bronze medal as well.
I won the Junior Olympics. Yes, the bronze medal at the National Junior Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
Then I won the silver at the Under-19 Nationals. Then I won the gold at the Under-19 Nationals. Then I won the golden gloves.
Yeah, and you won the Golden Gloves in April 5th, 2001.
No, you got it down pat.
Yeah. Yeah. So tell us, how was it? How was it in the, learning how to box in Brooklyn and everything? How was it?
I grew up in a very special place called Star City Boxing Club, which is located in the basement of a parking garage in Brooklyn.
Mm-hmm.
There was only one door, no windows, no air conditioning during the summer, no heat during the winter, no bathroom.
Hey.
It was just a really, the school of hard knocks, truly, and produced some of the best boxers in the sport. Some of them are still around today. Danny Jacobs, Louis Palazzo, Shannon Briggs, Curtis Stevens, J.J. Connington, Travis Sims, Zeb Judah, just trained there. I mean, just the list goes on. Real tough place that produced a lot of great fighters. And they say iron sharpens iron. That was truly the case.
Yeah.
Star City Boxing Club. Andre Rozier, famous trainer, came out of there. Saddam Ali, Shushu.
Saddam Ali,
City
Shushu.
Boxing Club. I mean, a lot of Edgar Berlanga started Star City Boxing Club. So many great fighters. Unfortunately, closed in 2012 because its director Jimmy O'Farrell, who took me under his wing, passed away.
Oh man, sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Man,
In New York City, with city regulations, it is a very tough place, and it is a place that's, that would make, I guess, city officials turn their head. And these days would not be around because there was no bathroom and no heating and no ventilation and all these different things. So it got closed down. But it is these type of places that produce the best fighters historically. And Star City was true to form. Produced many very talented fighters, and also more than that, helped a lot of at-risk kids stay out of trouble and become productive citizens.
That's good, man. So I seen when you turned pro, you signed with Top Rank, right?
Yes.
And then in August 25th, 2005, you won the North American Association title.
NAB, yes.
Yep, at light welterweight.
Yes.
That's I know that was beautiful.
That was great.
That was great. First time. So, quick question: what made you get into promoting? Like, what made you move over to the promotion side?
So after that fight, I won a couple of more titles, and had a chance to fight on some of the biggest cards ever, and accomplished a lot of my goals as well. Had a chance to fight at a very high level. I wasn't a big superstar, but I've been to the mountaintop and I've seen the promised land. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
As a boxer. So after I towards the end of my career, I started thinking about the business of boxing, the promotion of boxing, and I became a free agent. I met with a couple of different promoters. What they were saying to me didn't make sense to me, didn't feel like it was personalized to me, and I started to decide to put on my own show. And from my decision till the first event, it was about 5 weeks, and turned out to be a sold-out event. And a lot of the local talented fighters started to reach out to me, saying, "Dmitriy, want to fight on your show?" And I thought to myself, well, these talented, very good fighters, how come they're not signed to a big promoter? And as I got into it, I saw a business opportunity. And also towards the end of my professional career, I started to come to the Kronk Boxing Gym and train here with Emmanuel Stewart and Sugar Hill Stewart at the Kronk Gym that used to be on Warren Avenue. And there was so much talent in the gym. And then I would go to the shows here, and the talent that you saw in the gyms and the fighters, the level of fights that you saw at the shows didn't really correlate. So, that kind of opened up my mind. With time, things started to roll. The first fighter that I ever signed was Jarrell Miller.
Okay.
Had him from the beginning of his career, and obviously got him to a point to fight Anthony Joshua. and some big opportunities.
Yeah, we also, but we, you know what, we also like to thank you for making it happen at the Little Caesars Arena. We'd like to thank you. You was the first promoter, first boxing promoter to ever throw a show at Little Caesars Arena on the zone. That gotta feel great. And not only that, you had the two-time Olympic gold medalist, undisputed, the GOAT, Clarissa Shields.
Yeah.
That was great. We'd like to thank you. And we also have more talent that was on the card that's actually we're going to talk about in a little bit about February the 20th and other plans you got for the city of Detroit. Bill, you have any questions
So,
for the main man?
so,
Go ahead.
No, please.
No, I want to touch on that. And
Go
I'm
ahead.
very grateful to work with somebody like Clarissa Shields, who is a generational athlete. She's the Muhammad Ali of this generation. Because great athletes use that talent and use their sport to build a bridge between social change, social initiative, things that are needed in the community, and they use their talent to broaden the scope and to let people see the important issues. The reason why I was able to communicate with Clarissa and get along with her and tell her my vision and been able to do the work that I was able to do with her is because I grew up with a lady whose name was Keisha Snow back in 1996, 1997 in Stafford City Boxing Club. Keisha was a gold medal champion, national champion, turned pro for a little bit, and she was very talented and very good and ahead of her time, but women's boxing was not at a level where it could give her opportunities at that time.
Okay.
So she got sad about it, and and didn't have the opportunities to dedicate herself to boxing. So now years later, I meet Clarissa Shields. I actually read about her before I met her, and I thought to myself, man, out of the 2016 Olympics, there is no better athlete, no one that has more opportunity to be a global star than Clarissa Shields, no man or woman, and and the rest is history. Thank God.
Dmitry, how do you keep up on the trends and the contracts of all the fighters and everything going on around the world, let alone just in our area?
So, I like to read.
Okay.
I follow boxing. It usually does not take a lot of time for me to be able to evaluate talent and see if they're good and if they have skills. And about Clarissa, before I ever seen her fight, I read a story about her in the Wall Street Journal before the second Olympic gold medal. And she was from Michigan, already was an Olympic gold medalist, had a very challenging upbringing.
Yeah.
Flint, one of the most challenging cities in the United States.
Oh.
And to be such a great athlete, to be so exceptional, to be so great, coming from such a challenged city, tells you what kind of person she is. And that's someone that America and the world needs to know about. And now her story is broad and wide, and there's going to be a movie released this year.
Oh yeah,
about her.
biopic. Yeah.
It's going to be in theaters in Detroit, in New York, in Los Angeles, in Boston, in Mississippi, all over the country and all over the world. And
That's cool.
That's pretty amazing that Clarissa believed in herself before women's boxing was a business.
Yeah.
Believed in being a champion and stayed away from all the temptations that Flint had to offer and all the challenges that she had to overcome every day is really incredible. And she inspires me as someone that loves the sport of boxing, as a person, as an immigrant, as someone that had to work hard for my dreams. And I'm very grateful and honored to be involved in her incredible historic journey.
Do you think she opened doors for Salita Promotions, like the other opportunities? Do you think she set the trending for you as well, like as a promoter? Like she got you in the doors, like that you thought you could have got in, but you got in them faster.
Well, she's the first. So we first started working together after pro debut, so in her second professional fight. And when she told me that she would give me a try, her first fight with me, she was the main event on Showtime, the Showbox, and is the first woman in the history of the sport to be a main event on premium cable network television, which was Showtime in 2017 at MGM Detroit here.
Yep.
So
And you had that Mex Temple. Yep.
Clarissa Shields is the Muhammad Ali. So for sure, when you work with a great athlete like that transcends the sport that she's in,
Yeah.
it absolutely leads to other opportunities.
And like I said, you got the opportunity at Little Caesars Arena. That was.
And with the fact that she believed in me and gave me the opportunity to work with her. So all the different big promoters try to get her, but I feel like they didn't have the vision of what she could be. And,
Right.
And because of my experience with Keisha, and because of my vision, and because of my own personal career, I felt that she had all the incredible tools to be a great champion. She also works with one of the best boxing businessmen of all time, Mark Taffet, former head of Asia Pay-Per-View, who obviously is a significant role in making sure that she's as accomplished as she is.
Yeah, I mean, it's y'all connect. I see the connection there. I see the connection there. You know, you got all the promoter got that fighter they know that takes the load off. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got other good fighters on there too. I can't name all of them, but I can name some. Jermaine Franklin, 99 Assassin. I like him. But the one thing I do like about you, Salita, you give people an opportunity.
You do.
Opportunity. You're very patient, because I know, sometimes promoters can run very thin, because fighters are very demanding. You got DeVal Smith, which is a great fighter coming out of Crunk Gym. You got Marlon Savage Harrington. And you got other great fighters as well. I don't want to say his name wrong, but he's fighting Norwood.
Ali Ismailov.
Yeah, he's Milo. So that's also.
So, thank you for the credit and for the mention. Someone like Deval Smith. I've seen Deval in the gyms for years and didn't have a big amateur career, but I see him in a gym, got a chance to know him, and really believe that he has the talent to be the real deal in the division, to be the next guy to bring big time boxing to the city of Detroit.
Okay.
I really believe that he can be a world champion.
Yeah.
So fighters like that need encouragement. They need consistency. They need to stay busy. And February 20th is a great opportunity to shed the light on the talent that is in the city of Detroit. Detroit is a big sports town. We almost had the Lions go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And the city got excited. What the city really needs to get excited about is boxing.
Yeah.
Because it is Detroit boxers, Michigan boxers, that have consistently brought championships to the state of Michigan, to the city of Detroit. Floyd Mayweather, Clarissa Shields, Tommy Hearns, the whole Kronk stable of fighters. And all these young guys, Tony Harrison, K9 Bundridge.
Yeah.
Bronco McCart.
Yeah.
The list goes on.
Like I said, Milton McCurry. Yeah.
McCurry, Kendall Kenty.
You couldn't name them all.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice, so
It'd
many.
be a 2-hour show to name all the great.
Exactly. Just not names.
Which is incredible. But the fact that there hasn't been a consistent high-level professional boxing program here is an opportunity, and it's an opportunity that I feel we together need to be inclusive, not exclusive. People talk about exclusivity. That's not good for boxing.
No,
We
it's
should work together.
yeah.
People need to communicate and try to make the sport go bigger and better. And
Yes.
certainly here in the city of
I
Detroit.
definitely agree. A lot of things too a lot of things that's seen, heard should not be said. Like, I think of a lot of things you should hold it in and talk to the person. I think a lot of people shouldn't take their problems to social media. I think they should handle it behind the scene. If it's that get that bad, but people do what they want to do. But like I said, once again, that answered my question I was going to ask you earlier. Like, what catches your eye as a promoter? You see a guy, you be like, okay, or a boxer, you be like, okay, this is it. I'm going to sign this person. But you just said what you said. That was my next question. So you can answer that. But my next question, let's talk about February the 20th.
Let's talk about it.
How did you land at the field house? What made you go to the Wayne State field house for this fight?
So this is the first time that there's going to be a boxing event at Wayne State Fieldhouse.
Yep.
It's a beautiful venue. It's the home of Motor City Cruise, which is the Pistons G League team.
Yes.
So this show is going to be on the zone. It's a big day for the city of Detroit because Clarissa is a superstar, and I wanted that event to open the door for boxing in Detroit. I didn't want it to be a one-off and then we forget about it, and
Right.
that's it. It was important for that to serve its purpose, to open the door and to allow young fighters like Joshua Pagan
Yeah.
and Trio Holmes fighting Marlon Harrington, and Joseph Hicks.
Yes.
And all the fighters on the card.
DeVal
There's
Smith.
more.
Yeah.
DeVal Smith, and all the talent to be seen. So Clarissa did it. It's pretty ironic and incredible that boxing, big time boxing in Detroit, was opened up by Clarissa Shields. And previously, we can say there was Tommy Hearns, and Clarissa kind of picked up where that big time
That gap was.
attention, faded. So we work very hard bringing big time boxing to Detroit. And I want to say, someone like you have a radio show, and you're a boxing fan, and you grew up in the city of Detroit, and you love Detroit, and you love boxing.
Oh yeah.
And when there's consistent events here, and when people come from all over the country, from all over the world, to root for boxing, to write about boxing, to take pictures, to film, it creates an infrastructure, it creates culture. People talk about people leaving Detroit and things like that, but boxing attracts people.
It does. It does.
And if we work together, and if we do a good job, it's gonna run in the city for a long time, and that is my plan and my goal.
Well, you're doing a good job.
I used to come here to the Crown Boxing Gym on Warren Avenue with Emmanuel was around, and people would come there from all over the city of Detroit, from Ohio,
All over
from
the world.
Chicago. People would come in, it was like a buzz.
Yeah.
And then after Emmanuel passed away, there's been this gap.
Yeah.
It's important. There's so much talent here. There's a lot of good trainers here. Look at Sugar Hill. I feel like he kind of took over the Kronk name based on his skills and based on the fact that what he's accomplished as a trainer, going up around Emmanuel, now training Tyson Fury. One of the greatest heavyweights of all time. Theo Chambers, known as Third. Trains Jake Paul. These are two of the biggest guys in the sport of boxing. That's incredible. That two trainers from the city of Detroit are so accomplished and have such incredible high-level skill to train these incredible fighters. So that tells you how much there is in Detroit in the state of Michigan. Yeah. And so Clarissa Shields, Jermaine Franklin, arguably beat Dillian White, gave Anthony Joshua all he can handle. I mean, there's just so much talent.
Yeah,
we just gotta keep going and keep going.
To me, he did beat Dillian
I
White.
think he did.
I think so.
He did. I don't know what that was about. I mean, them judges, they could have borrowed my glasses. I mean, I just don't. What you wanted them to do? To kill a guy? I mean.
Well, I agree with you, and I lobbied very hard to get him a fight with Anthony Joshua, and I feel very fortunate that he got the opportunity.
Yeah.
And it was a great experience for him, even though he didn't get the win. I feel that
It's a great learning curve.
Yeah, it was a great learning curve. He put on a very respectable effort.
And he came. And you also gave. This is what I mean. Like, this is why you are very appreciated, because you gave him another opportunity in July to fight here on the zone.
Right.
It's not mixed on tempo. He won.
Yes.
The guy was very competitive.
Yes.
So.
But just competitive enough to give him rounds.
Yes.
And to make him kind of
yes.
feel good about coming back.
Yes.
So. He looked impressive and did look good. And we want to get Jermaine back in there. In a significant fight again.
Yes. This fight February 20th. This card is really nice. This is a nice.
It's a beautiful card.
It's a nice card.
We were thanked by two of the fighters because they felt like this show helped get that fight.
Yeah, which is Joshua Pagnon and Dwayne Taylor.
Yes.
Great.
Yeah, so.
And I was honored. I'm like, thank you, but that was not really us. That was you two going to both of your promoters saying, hey, we want this.
Yeah, so I'm working on this fight. Carlos Linas promotes Dwayne Taylor, and we came together to make this deal happen, and I'm very grateful for that, because we have to look beyond ourselves and to make the biggest and the best fights for the city, so that people can get excited about boxing, so that 500 people are going to think this guy's going to win, another 500 people are going to think that the other guy's going to win.
Yeah.
And the best man is going to win inside the ring.
Yeah.
That's what boxing needs, specifically in Detroit now, where we're trying to bring boxing back. We need competitive matchups. Where
Yes.
some people are going to think this guy's going to win, some people think that guy's going to win. Same thing with Drill Holmes and Marlon Harrington.
Oh, yeah.
Some people from Flint think Drill is going to win. Some people from Detroit think that Marlon's going to win. And it's a great fight.
It is.
And the winner of that fight, it's really a crossroads fight. The winner of that fight is going to go something much bigger and much better.
Right.
So, and it's for the title, for the USBA title. So it's for a world ranking. And I know that both are training very hard. And I'm going to give it. It's going to be a great night. I'm going to give it all on the line.
Yeah.
Most important, we need the fans to show up and to support boxing, and to get a ticket, and to make a lot of noise when they're at the fight.
And that gets me, because we're the only radio show that's doing boxing in Detroit, the only one. And we're trying to get everybody to come on our platform to showcase their talent. This showing around the world. This app, and then they got the radio. They can listen on the radio, and they can also call in. This is live. This is around the world. Like Highland Park, everybody's seeing this. That's on TV. So this is a very big event coming up, and like I said, we couldn't thank you no more because you got a vision for the city, and so far your vision is working.
It's working very
You know
well.
what I'm saying? And you're doing it in the city. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I love.
Like you in the inner city. You ain't like you was in Dearborn, but we'll talk about that another time. But you're in the city. You ain't like Taylor, Romulus, or Inkster. You right here in the mecca of the city.
So we did this deal with the Zone to put together this series of events. Showbox, Showtime is out. Showbox, when I had the great honor of promoting many events on Showtime, Showbox, and many of the Detroit fighters had a chance to fight there. So there is not a lot of talent development series in the world of boxing. This is one of them, and I believe is going to produce many great fighters and champions. And we could have done it anywhere, but I felt that Detroit is one of the historic hometowns of boxing.
Yeah,
And there's no better place to start it than the city of Detroit,
most definitely.
which has the Joe Louis Fist, downtown Detroit. It has so many great fighters, and we want to highlight the city and show the world everything that's good about it.
Right.
And what's great about it is the boxing talent that lives here.
Now, quick question. You know the NFL draft is coming here
I heard.
in April, and so is the Golden Glove Nationals.
Okay.
So are you planning on putting on a professional show around that time?
I to be quite honest with you, I only follow boxing. The only time I follow other sports is when scheduling comes, and I want to see if I can schedule it if there's a big game or something like that. We're going to announce our next show in March relatively soon,
Okay.
which is going to be a big one. And
Okay.
we just want to keep on building. And most important, the fans need to show up and show support
Yes.
and appreciate the sport of boxing in Detroit. And, on this show, on this program, if there's people that want to talk, that have questions, would love to communicate with them. And
I don't know why nobody ain't calling in. Yeah. Calling any other week. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So, but I want to ask you this question: will we ever see Dmitriy Salita back in the squared circle? I don't know if it's in a regular fight or an exhibition. Maybe I said you in exhibition, you and Oscar De La Hoya in exhibition. Well, when are we ever going to see Dmitriy Salita back in that squared circle?
Well, ever is a very big word. So, my mind, I do go to the gym and I do work out here and there. Oh, I go work out all the time, but here and there in the boxing gym. And once in a while, you get a little itch for it. But I have not thought about coming back. However, if something interesting, not against the young guys because it wouldn't be
Well,
right.
you ain't got to go. I did say Oscar De La Hoya.
I was actually in talks to fight Oscar back in 2007
Oh, really?
or so.
Oh,
or
wow.
something like that.
Wow.
So, yeah, I don't think so, but
Don't hold your breath to it.
maybe, yeah.
Yeah. I like to see that because I always make jokes.
Oscar is one of my favorite fighters.
Yeah, Oscar. Yeah,
Great
I
fighter.
always make jokes about one fight. One fight, B-boy. Don't you judge me. One fight. I'm gonna say it. Jake Paul versus Canelo Alvarez.
Yeah.
The exhibition. I always make jokes about it, but I know they ain't gonna fight it.
Well, that ain't no real fight.
Right.
Thank you.
I mean, no, let me tell you, Jake Paul. I used to be down on Jake Paul, but my respect for him has grown because he's really giving it a try. He's having real training camps. He hired Theo Chambers, Third from the Crown Gym.
Yep.
And I know Third don't mess around. He's
Nope.
a real trainer.
Oh
He's a
no,
real
Third
teacher.
don't play, man.
No.
So the fact that Jake Paul is really training for 8-10 weeks, bringing in real sparring partners,
Yes.
putting in the real work, and you can see that with each fight he's improving. So you have to respect it. Is he ever gonna fight somebody like Canelo Alvarez? It's not. I doubt it. I doubt that he'll ever have the skill level to really compete with a Canelo Alvarez. But the other thing about Jake Paul is he's a great brander.
Yes.
And when he says these things, people all over the world open their eyes and pay attention to boxing. So he can say that he's gonna fight Mike Tyson. It doesn't matter. It's good for boxing. And
It is.
I don't think that he's disrespecting the sport. He is giving it its respect by training, by stepping up in his level of competition. You got to take into consideration that he's still learning. He didn't have an amateur career.
Nope.
He went 10 rounds versus Nick Diaz.
Yeah.
And the fact to go 10 rounds is not easy. You have to know what you're doing to go 10 rounds.
Hey.
So I believe that he's good for the sport of boxing. However, I'm not a fan of influencer boxing as a whole. Jake Paul, to me, is merging into becoming a real boxer, and you have to respect that. And he's using his name and his popularity to grow the sport of boxing. The sport of boxing has more resources as a result of him. I believe there's an opportunity for fighters to make more money that are fighting on the shows as a result of him. So he's good for the sport.
And what he did for the women got them fighting 12 rounds, 3-minute rounds.
Well, that was. I don't know if that was him or if that was. Why can I not think of the champ's name right now?
So I don't know. I don't know if I'm 100% in support of that.
No, that okay.
Okay.
Because it has nothing to do with. It has to do with relative progression. When you turn professional, you fight 4 rounds, then you fight 6 rounds, then you fight 8 rounds, then you fight 10 rounds, then you fight 12. You fight a couple of times each of those stepping stones to get to 12 rounds. So now women fight 10 rounds, 10 3-minute rounds. That's 30 minutes.
Yep.
I'm sorry, they fight 10 2-minute rounds. So that's 20 minutes.
Yes.
To make it 12 3-minute rounds is 36 minutes. So that almost doubles the time of competition, which sounds good, but I don't know if it's the right progress. So I think that and women train with men. They train as hard, if not harder, have the same stamina, and this is nothing about that. But I feel there has to be plateaus of progress. And I think the first step that I would like to see is 12 2-minute rounds. I think that would be great because championship fights at the highest level deserve to be 12 rounds. 12 2-minute rounds, I like and support.
So you'll leave it at 2 minutes.
Yeah, it's not for me to say. It's up to the professionals, to the commissions, to deem what they feel is appropriate. However, just my opinion, from an athletic point of view, from jumping from 20 minutes of competition, 36 competition is a really big jump.
But if a lady is training at 4-minute rounds like a lot of our professional fighters do, they're already there.
Well, let me tell you, a 4-round fighter trains the same as a 12-round fighter.
Correct.
You you box with them, you train with them, but then when you get and you fight in the 3rd round, you're
It's a different ballgame. I know
you're
that.
breathing hard, and sometimes you're lost. And guys that go 4 rounds, sometimes 6 rounds, and they fight 8 rounds.
So would you be?
Sorry, in the 5th and the 6th round, you're lost because you've never been there.
Right.
But to be in the 5th, 6th round and 3 minutes, and then know that you have 6 more rounds to go to the 12th round, I don't know if that's not a progressive jump. If there is such an initiative, then it should start with 4 3-minute rounds, 6 3-minute rounds.
I was just going to ask you if that's how you would feel.
There has to be progressive. Women can definitely do it. There's no doubt about it. 100%. It's not about that. I feel like there just has to be progress, steady progress, not just like
jumping into it.
Exactly.
So so the people that's looking at this radio show, once I seen this issue I'm gonna bring up, I knew that promoting was your thing, because a lot of people don't know you got your bachelor's degree in was it Jewish studies, right?
No, I actually got my bachelor's degree in history and in business.
History and business, okay. Cause it say right here, that's what I'm saying, So, yeah, but see, a lot of people don't know that, you know what I'm saying? But I wanted to bring that out because that's special too.
But Judaism is very close to me, and and I do like to study Judaism as well.
That's cool.
I was going to say.
That's a great thing.
Tell you, and I know that a lot of people can judge me, and people feel some type of way sometimes, and I'm aware of it. But my family immigrated to the United States because in the Soviet Union, the Jewish people were not allowed to practice their religion, not allowed to walk openly as Jews. And I came to Brooklyn, New York. First time I saw Jewish people, walking openly on the streets. I went to Star City Boxing Club. Jimmy O'Farrell was a significant influence in my life and taught me about rights and freedom and asserting yourself as an individual in the things that are important to you. So, God bless America, and only in America,
That's
as Don
it.
King would say.
Yeah, that's it. Well, you're doing a lot of good things in America.
Yep,
America,
you are.
especially American in boxing. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So,
Well, that's the good Lord blessed me with this talent, and this is the journey that I'm taking part in. So I'm happy and do my best to do my best for it to be a service. I like it, but it has to be a service as a promoter to other people as well, and that's what I'm trying to do. I see in the back it says Wolf of Detroit. Usually, it's Wolf of Wall Street or Wolf of New York City.
Yeah,
It's Wolf of
yeah,
Detroit.
yeah.
I like it. That's great.
the only thing about it, they don't have Leo DiCaprio in it. You know,
All right, we gotta get a Detroit Leo DiCaprio.
Oh man, yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Hopefully,
What are the characteristics that you look for signing a fighter?
So usually I look for an outstanding amateur career, which is a national title, some international competitions, because to me that means that a fighter can deal with life's challenges. Let's go from breaking up, somebody dying, problems, life, and still compete at a high level. That's very important to me because a lot of times things happen in our lives and we get depressed and we get down, and that affects our work ethic. To be a professional means that regardless of how you feel, you still got to go out there and perform. You still got to go show up to work. So that's usually what I look at.
Okay.
But on the resume, then I obviously look at video and see if those titles correlate with the things that I like to see. However, that's the general rule. There are fighters that I sign that do not have outstanding amateur careers. Marlon Harrington is an example of that.
Right.
Deval Smith is an example of that.
Yeah.
And there are others. So generally that's what I look at. But then I look kind of behind the numbers and look at the fighter's style, look at his story, and look at his background, and that kind of, and there is no, besides that, there is no way I can articulate it. It's just something that you see,
Right.
and it kind of falls right and feels right, and you feel that this person has the potential to be the real deal.
Yeah.
That's good, man. That's very great that you have an eye for that. Because like I said, you was a fighter too, so you know how it is to get prepared physically and mentally.
So in my life, being a fighter and not being in the boxing business served as a great experience and as great education for what I did. So it helps me. It helps me deal with the boxing business in a more positive way.
Right.
What I do now, but it doesn't. But the fact that I was a fighter doesn't necessarily mean that I can evaluate talent. It doesn't always go that way.
No.
But being signed with Top Rank, who I believe historically has been the best at developing talent from zero to hero, so to say.
Yeah.
And being around those people for many years, fighting on those big undercards, Mayweather and Morales and all this stuff, gave me vision and gave me understanding and really exposed me to a very high level of boxing from when I was 19 years old. So that definitely very grateful for those experiences because it served me great. So
tell us in a quick brief before we shut down. Tell us about the Detroit Brawl network you have.
Well, Detroit Brawl is a series of fights that I started here in 2016, and we have an Instagram page and a Facebook page where we highlight boxing in Detroit. But the name of this series on February 20th is Big Time Boxing USA.
Okay, Big Time Boxing USA.
The goal is to bring big time boxing to the USA and for the boxing fans and for the boxing press to establish a relationship with fighters through different stages of their careers. So someone like Deval Smith is fighting in his 8th professional fight, a 6-round fight. And someone like Adriel Holmes and Marlon Harrington are fighting for titles. So there are different stages, and the difficulty in their fights is going to be different. And the fans need to experience it, need to see it, need to see a fighter develop from 4 rounds to 6 rounds to 8 rounds. Fighting championships, sometimes he's going to knock somebody out in the first round. Sometimes he's going to have a hard time and maybe barely just win. But all of that, it builds a relationship and builds a story and connects the boxing fans to the sport of boxing. And, a lot of times, promoters go to casinos, like out of town, and they give you a side fee and that's it. But I really want to promote boxing. This is an event where people have to buy tickets. So that means they have to connect to the event. and they have to read about it and get excited about the sport.
Okay.
And that's what the goal is. The goal is for fans to connect to the boxing community, and this is going to be on TV, to see them, to follow them. It's important that the Detroit News and the Detroit Free Press and the Michigan Chronicle and all the news affiliates televise and talk about boxing and write about boxing and write about the fighters. Usually fighters all have stories. They don't come from easy backgrounds, because to be a boxer and to be able to put up with that kind of uncomfortable feelings and the training camps and the bruises and the bloody noses and the making weight is not easy.
No.
So you got to have some kind of chip on your shoulder, and something that you want to fight for to be able to become a champion. And I believe that people in life throughout, because we all have things that we go through, can relate and connect to those fighters. And it's important to tell stories. One of the reasons why influence, in my opinion, why influence of boxing has gotten popular is because networks like HBO and Showtime have left boxing.
Yeah.
Because there's a gap now for telling stories for
Yeah.
the fighters. Fighters used to be influencers,
Yep.
and that's how it should be, and that's how we want it to be. So, and if you look at on our social media, Terrell Groggins has a company called My Art My Rules, who does a lot of fantastic social media and videos and pictures and other stuff. Very talented guy in Detroit, has documented boxing here for a long time. So there's so many talented individuals here in different spheres that all come together to make boxing great, and that's the goal.
All right. So we about to wrap this thing up, but before we leave, where can they get in touch with Dmitriy Salita?
Pardon me.
The best way is to follow me on Instagram and on Twitter or X now, Dmitry_Salita or D Salita, and follow our company Salita Promotions on both on Facebook, and follow our YouTube channel. We have a lot of great stuff. We have a lot of historic fights
You do.
and current fights that we put together. So check it out, and most importantly, show up February 20th and watch some great live boxing.
Yes.
And then after the fights, speak to the fighters, get the information, follow them, connect with them, and let's make boxing big and great in Detroit and bring big time boxing to Detroit City on consistent basis.
I would love that.
There y'all have it, y'all. I'm your host, Mr. Layback Corey, with my co-host B-Boy. And this is the Rerun Detroit Boxing Show right here on FM 88.1 WHPR. We want to thank my man Dmitry Salita, one of the best boxing promoters in America. We ain't gonna say in America right here.
Talk to me, baby.
Thank you. So we see y'all next week. Peace.
Peace.